Hello, and welcome back to Story-Driven English, where we turn juicy tales into English lessons that stick. Today, we're peeling back the golden curtain on the women who've danced through Donald Trump's love life, his wives, his girlfriends, and the whirlwind romances that kept the tabloids buzzing. Picture this: a real estate king with hair that defies physics, sweeping models, actresses, and beauty queens off their feet sometimes all at once. From the dazzling Ivana, who turned his empire into a power couple's playground, to the sultry Marla, who sparked a scandal juicier than a soap opera, and the enigmatic Melania, who's been dodging headlines like a pro. We've got it all. Oh, and don't forget the flings like the tennis star he juggled mid-marriage, or the model who called him a gentleman. Questionable, right? These ladies didn't just share his bed or his vows. They shaped his story with glamour, drama, and a sprinkle of chaos. So, grab your coffee or a wig to match Trump's vibe, and let's dive into this wild romantic roller. You'll laugh, you'll gasp, and you'll ace your English along the way. Let's get started. The Pink Shadows of Trump's Life. A Tale of Wives, Roses, and Real Estate. Chapter 1. The Czech skier and the golden-haired suitor, Ivana Trump. It's the mid-1970s. The world is grooving to disco beats. And somewhere in the snowy hills of Czechoslovakia, a young woman named Ivana is zipping down slopes like she's auditioning for the Winter Olympics. She's a skier, a model, and let's be honest, probably the coolest person in any room she walks into. Fast forward to 1976, and fate decides to throw her a curveball. She's in New York, on a little jaunt from Montreal where she's been, dazzling folks as a working model. Enter Donald Trump, a man with hair that defies gravity and a grin that says, "I've got a plan, and you're in it." It all starts at a restaurant. Ivana's there with her posse of equally fabulous model friends, probably sipping something chic like martinis or sparkling water because, models. The place is packed, and they're stuck waiting for a table like mere mortals. Then, out of nowhere, Donald swoops in like a knight in a shiny suit. "Ladies," he says, flashing that $1 million smile, "I've got the best table in the house for you." And just like that, they're whisked away to VIP land. Ivana's thinking, okay, this guy's got game. Little does she know, the game's only just begun. Donald doesn't waste time. He's smitten, and when Donald Trump is smitten, the world knows it. The next day, a delivery guy shows up at Ivana's door with 100 rosés, 100 subtlety. Not in this man's dictionary. Then come the dinners. Not just any dinners, oh. No, these are the kind where the napkins are folded into swans, and the bill could buy a small car. Ivana's still in New York for a few days, and Donald's pulling out all the stops. By the time she heads back to Montreal, she's probably wondering if she accidentally starred in a rom-com. But Donald's not done. Oh no, he's just warming up. For the next 3 months, he calls her every single day. Picture Ivana in her Montreal apartment, phone ringing off the hook, rolling her eyes but secretly smiling. "Donald, don't you have buildings to build or something?" she might have teased. Nope, apparently not. He's too busy wooing her with that relentless Trump charm. It's like a siege, but with flowers and flattery instead of cannons. Then comes the big move. He whisks her off to Aspen for a romantic getaway because nothing says, "I'm serious," like snow, ski lodges, and a roaring fireplace. It's New Year's Eve, the clock's ticking down, and Donald, ever the dramatist, drops to one knee. "Marry me, Ivana," he says, pausing for effect, "or you'll regret it for the rest of your life." Bold, yes. Over the top. Absolutely. Effective? Well, it worked, didn't it? Ivana says yes, probably half laughing at the sheer audacity of it all. That's Donald for you, a man who courts like he's storming a castle. 3 months later, on April 9th, 1977, they tie the knot in a hush-hush ceremony at Marble Collegiate Church in New York. No paparazzi, no leaked photos, just a quiet little I do that screams, "We're doing this our way." Off they go. To Mexico for a honeymoon, sipping margaritas and soaking up the sun. And then surprise, Ivana's pregnant before they've even unpacked the suitcases. Talk about efficiency. Their first kid, Donald Jr., pops into the world on December 31st, 1977. Just in time to claim a tax deduction for the year. Kidding. Or am I? Next comes Ivanka. Originally, Ivana Marie, because why not name your daughter after yourself? In 1981, followed by Eric in 1984, 3 kids in 7 years. Boom, boom, boom. Rumor has it, Donald handed Ivana a cool $250,000 cash bonus for each baby. Like she'd just won the jackpot on a game show called Trump Family Feud. True or not, it's the kind of story that makes you chuckle and go, yeah, that tracks. But Ivana isn't just a wife or a baby-making machine, though she's acing that part. She's a powerhouse. Right after the wedding, Donald's like, hey honey, how about you help me run this empire? He plops her into the role of Vice President of Interior Design at the Commodore Hotel, which he's turning into the glitzy Grand Hyatt. Ivana's got an eye for style, probably from all those years modeling, and she dives in, picking out chandeliers and carpets, like it's her personal Barbie dream house. She doesn't stop there. She's got her hands in Trump Tower, the Trump Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City, and eventually becomes the big boss at the Plaza Hotel. This isn't just a marriage. It's a business merger with a side of romance. Their life is a whirlwind. Picture them in the 80s, Donald in his power suits, Ivana rocking shoulder pads that could double as armor, the kids toddling around a penthouse that's basically a gold-plated playground. She's not just keeping the home fires burning, lighting up boardrooms too. Years later, when things go south, spoiler alert for the next chapter, her lawyer's screaming, she built this empire with him. That prenup's a joke. And honestly, you can't blame them. Ivana's not just a pink shadow in Donald's life. She's a neon sign, blazing bright dot, so there they are, the skier from Czechoslovakia and the brash New Yorker, a match made in hustle heaven. It's a love story with roses, real estate, and a little bit of razzle-dazzle. But as we all know, not every fairy tale lasts forever. Stay tuned, because the next hand is waiting in the wings, and trust me, it's gonna get wild. So, where were we? Oh, right, Donald and Ivana, the power couple of the 80s, building skyscrapers, raising kids, and living the high life like something out of a glossy magazine spread. Everything's golden until it's not. Cue the ominous music, because 1989 is about to drop a bombshell that'll shake up this fairy tale faster than you can say prenup. Let's rewind a bit. It's 1985, and Donald's still married to Ivana, the Czech queen of his empire. He's at some fancy celebrity tennis match, probably wearing a suit while everyone else is in shorts when his eyes land on Marla Maples. She's a model, of course she is. This is Trump we're talking about, with big hair and a southern drawl that could melt butter. Sparks fly, or at least Donald thinks they do. Ivana's back home running the show, blissfully unaware that her husband's got a new hobby. Flirting courtside. For the next few years, Donald's juggling his marriage and this little side project with Marla. Spoiler alert, he's not great at multitasking. Fast forward to 1989, and the jig is up. Ivana Snowdamishy's been too busy designing hotel lobbies and raising 3 kids to miss the whispers. But whispers turn into a full-on megaphone when the Trump family heads to Aspen for a ski trip. Picture it. Snow falling, hot cocoa flowing, the kids building snowmen, and Ivana looking like a winter goddess in her fur coat. It's all very picturesque until Marla Maples struts onto the scene like she's auditioning for a soap opera. Here's how it goes down, according to Ivana's tell-all memory. And trust me, she's got receipts. Marla marches right up to her, bold as brass, and drops the line of the century. I'm Marla, and I love your husband. How about you? Mic drop. Ivana's standing there, skis in hand, probably wondering if she stumbled into a bad movie. She doesn't slap Marla or push her into a snowbank, though. You can bet she's tempted. Instead, she just stares, processes, and realizes game over. That moment, right there on the slopes of Aspen, is when Ivana knows her marriage has hit the iceberg, and there's no Titanic big enough to save it. By 1990, they're officially separated. The divorce papers get signed in 1992, and it's a doozy. Ivana walks away with a reported $14 million chump change compared to the Trump fortune, but enough to keep her in designer ski boots. Word on the street is she took the deal because she worried Donald might go broke and leave her with nothing. Smart move, Ivana. The whole mess is splashed across every tabloid in America, complete with headlines like Trump's love triangle and Ivana versus Marla, the showdown. It's messy, it's public, and it's peak Trump drama. People can't get enough. Donald's out here proving he's not just a real estate mogul, he's a one-man soap opera generator. The Aspen showdown becomes the stuff of legend. Ivana later spills the tea in her memoir, painting a picture of a marriage undone by a man who couldn't keep his vows or his eyes to himself. It's not exactly a glowing review of Donald's husband's skills. Meanwhile, Marla's waiting in the wings, ready to step into the spotlight as the next women. But we'll get to her in the next chapter. Patience. Folks, this roller coaster's just heating up now. Let's talk about Ivana Trump. She doesn't just fade away into the sunset, licking her wounds. Oh no, this woman's a phoenix rising. From the ashes of a tabloid bonfire, she keeps the entrepreneurial flame alive, launching businesses, writing books, and basically showing the world she's still got it. By the time she passes away in 2022, at 73, she's a legend in her own right, 9 grandkids from Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric, a successful career, and a knack for staying in the headlines. Even after the divorce, Ivana's not bitter, at least, not publicly. In her memoir, she calls Donald a great co-parent, which is generous considering the Aspen fiasco. She stays tight with the kids, doting on her grandbabies and keeping the Trump family ties alive. But she's not above a little shade. At one point, she declares herself the real First Lady, which must have made Melania Donald's third. Wife spill her coffee? You can almost hear Ivana chuckling, "Oh honey, I was here first, and I did it better." She even pops up in the movie First Wives Club, dropping the iconic line, "Don't get mad, get everything." It's half advice, half victory lap, and 100% Ivana. The divorce might have been a gut punch, but she turns it into a springboard. She's out there, living her best life, proving that a woman doesn't just fade, she glows brighter than ever. So, as the 90s dawn, Ivana's riding high, Marla's warming up for her turn, and Donald's, well, being Donald, the pink shadows keep shifting, and the story's far from over. Next up, Marla Maples takes center stage, and trust me, it's gonna be a wild ride. Stay tuned. Chapter 2, Marla Maples and the Yacht Life Will Write. Buckle up, because the spotlight's swinging to Marla Maples. The Southern belle who traded tennis courts for Trump's hearthand, eventually his yacht. It's 1985, and Donald's still hitched to Ivana, ruling the real estate world like a king with a perm. He's at a celebrity tennis match, probably more interested in the VIP tent than the backhand volleys win. He spots Marla. She's all big hair, bright eyes, and Georgia charm. A model who looks like she walked straight out of a shampoo commercial. They lock eyes, and Donald's brain goes, "Well, hello there. Friends first," he claims. "Sure, Donald, sure." For a while, it's all hush-hush. Sneaky meetings, coded phone calls, the kind of stuff that'd make a spy jealous. Donald's juggling Ivana, the kids, and his skyscrapers, while Marla's waiting in the wings, probably wondering when her cameo turns into a starring role. By the summer of 1989, though, the secret's out. Marla's popping up wherever. His restaurants, galas, you name it. She even moves onto his yacht, the Trump Princess. Picture it, Marla lounging on deck, sipping a pina colada, while Donald's up front, yelling, "Full speed ahead." It's like lifestyles of the rich and famous, but with more hairspray now. Remember that Aspen showdown with Ivana? Marla's got her own version of the story, and it's a little different. Ivana's all. She marched up and declared war. Marla's like, "Who? Me? I was just saying hi." Either way, Marla insists she's no homewrecker. "I never saw myself as the other woman," she says, probably batting her lashes for effect. Okay, Marla, you keep telling yourself that. Meanwhile, the tabloids are eating it up, and Donald's grinning like a cat who caught 2 canaries. Fast forward to 1990, Ivana's out. Divorce finalized, and Marla suddenly got a +1 in her belly. Surprise, she's pregnant with Donald's 4th kid. Tiffany Trump arrives in October 1993, a little bundle of joy with impeccable timing. 2 months later, in December, Donald and Marla say, "I do," at the Plaza Hotel. Yep, the same one Ivana used to run. Talk about a plot twist. The wedding's quick, the baby's already here, and the whole thing feels like Donald's trying to speedrun the family man phase. It's a whirlwind divorce, one wife, marry another, and boom, new kid, new ring, new headlines. Speaking of headlines, Marla is not shy about stealing the show. Back in 1990, the New York Post drops a front-page zinger, quoting Marla gushing about Donald, "Best sex I've ever had." The city loses its mind, people are clutching pearls, cabbies are honking, and Donald's probably framing the paper in his office. Years later, Marla's like, "Did I say that? Maybe not." Sure, Marla blamed the reporters. Either way, it's peak Trump Maples chaos. And the public's lapping it up like it's free ice cream. Marla's not just a trophy wife, though she's got her own spotlight. She's an actress, a TV personality, and she's ready to shine. In 1992, she's arm-in-arm with Donald at the Soap Opera Digest Awards, smiling like she's about to accept a daytime Emmy. Then there's the grand opening of Mar-a-Lago. In 1995, Marla, Donald, and little Tiffany cutting ribbons and posing for pics. She even co-hosts Trump's Miss Universe pageant, strutting around like she's the real queen of the stage. Compared to Ivana's boardroom boss vibes or Melania's future First Lady mystique, Marla's all about the glitz. She's the tabloid, darling the bubbly blonde who thrives on flashbulbs and fanfare. Their marriage is like a reality show big, loud and over, faster than you'd expect. But while it lasts, Marla's everywhere. She's not designing hotels or negotiating deals like Ivana. She's dazzling crowds and keeping Donald's name in lights. It's a different kind of Han. Less empire builder, more Hollywood starlet. And Tiffany, she's the little princess, tying it all together. Proof that this whirlwind romance wasn't just a fling, of course. Nothing gold can stay, or in Donald's case, nothing blonde. The cracks start showing, and by the late 90s, Marla's chapter is winding down. But for now, she's riding high, yacht life and all. She's the second pink shadow in Trump's saga, a burst of sparkle in a life already full of drama. Next up, well, there's a certain Slovenian model waiting in the wings, and trust me, she's bringing her own kind of magic. Stay tuned, because this story's about to get a whole lot fancier. So, Marla Maples has sailed into Donald Trump's life. A yacht tied the knot at the plaza, and given the tabloids enough juice to keep them buzzing for years. She's living the dream, co-hosting pageants, dazzling at Mar-a-Lago, and raising little Tiffany with a front-row seat to the Trump circus. But here's the thing about dreams. Sometimes they come with an expiration date. By 1997, this one's starting to curdle faster than milk left out in the Florida sun. It's May 1997, and the Trump-Maples marriage hits the skids. They're Donezzo separated, caput finito. But if you think splitting from Donald Trump is a quick see you later, think again. The divorce drags on like a bad movie sequel to whole years of courtroom squabbles before it settled in 1999. Why the holdup? Money, of course. Rewind to their 1993 wedding. Donald's still reeling from shelling out $14 million to Ivana, and his bank accounts looking a little less golden. He's got a prenup locked down tighter than Fort Knox, and he's not budging. Marla's probably sitting there thinking, wait, I signed up for love, not a financial cage match. Tough luck, kiddo Donald's playing hardball. Years later, Marla reflects on it with a wistful shrug. You always hope marriage brings out the best in each other. Passan seesagged, but after a few years, we realized we weren't quite hitting the mark. Then she drops a gem. When you're in your 20s, you think you can change them somehow. Oh, Marla, bless your optimistic heart. She thought she could tweak Donald like he was a fixer-upper, condone maybe add a little southern charm, soften those sharp edges. Spoiler, Trump's not a DIY project. The divorce is messy, drawn out, and a masterclass in mismatched expectations. By the end, Marla's ready to trade the New York chaos for something sunnier. Enter California. Marla packs up, grabs Tiffany, and heads west like a modern-day pioneer in designer sunglasses. She sets up shop in the Golden State, raising Tiffany far from the Trump Tower spotlight. Picture it, Marla sipping green juice, doing yoga on the beach, while Tiffany grows up with flip-flops and a laid-back vibe. It's a total 180 from the glitzy whirlwind of her marriage. Tiffany, turns out, just fine graduates from Georgetown Law in 2020, marries Michael Boulos, and probably thanks her mom for keeping her out of the tabloid crosshairs. Marla's not just a mom, though she's still got that actress spark. She pops up in flicks like Maximum Overdrive and Executive Decision, proving she's more than just Trump's ex. Here's the kicker. Even after the divorce, Marla doesn't burn bridges. Fast forward to January 2025, and she's out there cheering Donald on as he gears up for another presidential run. "I still love Donald and his kids," she says, all warm and fuzzy. She's even ready to hit the campaign trail if he needs her talk about a plot twist. With a net worth of £16 million, she's doing all right for herself. Thank you very much. No bitter ex-vibes here, just a woman who's moved on but kept the door cracked open. Compared to Ivana's complicated post-divorce stance, remember the real First Lady jab. Marla's approach is downright friendly. She's the pink shadow who didn't fade. She just found a new glow dot. So, as the 90s close out, Marla's chapter wraps with a California sunset. She's raised a daughter, built a life, and somehow stayed on good terms with the man who once swept her off her feet and onto his yacht. It's not the longest marriage in Trump's saga, but it's got heart and a little Hollywood flair. Meanwhile, Donald's already eyeing his next move, and there's a certain Slovenian stunner about to step into the frame. Marla's out, but the story's far from over. Next up, Melania's world, and trust me, it's going to be fabulous. Hang tight. Chapter 3. Melania, the Slovenian Sphinxolite folks. We've sailed through Ivana's empire building, Marla's tabloid tango, and now it's time to meet the third and so far, longest-lasting HNG in Donald Trump's life, Melania Nos. She's a Slovenian stunner with cheekbones that could cut glass and a vibe that says, "I'm here, but I'm not telling you everything." Born in what was then Yugoslavia, little Melania's dreaming big from the jump. At 5 years old, she's striking poses for catalogs, probably selling kitty coats with the seriousness of a runway pro. Modeling's in her blood, and she's got her eyes on the prize. Fast forward to 1998. It's New York Fashion Week. The air's thick with perfume and ambition, and Donald Trump's on the prowl. He's technically separated from Marla divorce. Papers are still drying, but he's at a party with another date on his arm. Typical Donald, right? Then he spots Melania across the room, all elegance and mystery, and it's game over. His date, poor thing, gets the oldest trick in the book. "Hey, why don't you freshen up in the bathroom?" Off she goes, and Donald's sliding over to Melania like he's James Bond with a comb-over. "Hi, I'm Donald," he probably says, flashing. That grin, Melania's not fazed. She's heard the lines before. "Give me your number," she counters, cool as a cucumber. No swooning, no giggling, just pure Slovenian steel. A few days later, she calls him, and boom, they're off to the races. Their courtship's a slow burn compared to Donald's usual warp-speed romances. They date for a couple of years, but it's not all champagne and roses. In 2000, there's a hiccup. Donald's flirting with a presidential run under the Reform Party banner, and Melania's like, I didn't sign up for this. They split for a hot minute, probably because she's not keen on trading catwalks for campaign trails. But by February, he's back, tail between his legs, having ditched the political pipe dream. "Okay, no White House, just you and me," he might have said. Melania relents, and they're back on track. It's a bump in the road, but it shows there's something real. Here may be not fairy tale perfect, but deep enough to weather a storm. By 2004, they're at the Met Gala, and Donald's ready to lock it down. He pops the question, probably with a ring the size of a golf ball land. Melania says yes, cue the wedding bells, because 2005 is the year they make it official. They tie the knot at Bethesda Bethesda Episcopal Church in Palm Beach, Florida. And it's not just a wedding, it's a production. We're talking millions of dollars, 350 guests, and a guest list that's a who's who of power players. Bill and Hillary Clinton rubbing elbows with Simon Cowell, Billy Joel tickling the ivories, Barbara Walters taking notes. It's glitz, glamour, and a cake so tall it needs its own zip code. Melania's gown, a Dior masterpiece that probably cost more than your average house. Donald's beaming, Melania serene, and the world's watching. A year later, in 2006, they welcome Baron Trump, Donald's fifth kid, and Melania's first. He's born into a world of gold fixtures and private jets, with a mom who's equal parts model and enigma. This marriage, it's the longest of Trump's trilogy so far, stretching well into 2025 and beyond. Compared to Ivana's whirlwind or Marla's flash and thopen, this one's got staying power. Maybe it's because Donald's mellowed, kidding. Or maybe Melania's just the perfect match-com where he's loud, poised, where he's brash. That star-studded wedding wasn't just a party, it was a statement. These two are in it for the long haul. Melania is not like the others. Ivana built empires. Marla chased spotlights. Melania, she's the quiet force, the pink shadow who doesn't need to shout. She's got that European elegance, a knack for dodging the chaos, and a way of keeping Donald grounded, or at least as grounded as he gets. Their story's still unfolding, but one thing's clear. This Slovenian sphinx has carved out her place in Trump's wild, wild world. And with Barron growing up and Donald's political star still shining, there's plenty more to come. Next chapter. Who knows, but for now, Melania's reigning supreme. Stay tuned, because this tale's got legs. So, Melania Noss has sashayed into Donald Trump's life, traded her modeling heels for wedding vows, and now she's about to step into the biggest role yet, First Lady of the United States. It's 2017, Donald sworn in as the 45th president, and Melania's officially on the job first from 2017 to 2021, then again starting in 2025 after his triumphant return. She's only the second foreign-born First Lady in U.S. history. Following in the footsteps of Louisa Adams, Slovenia's in the house, and Melania's ready to do things her way. "I'll be different from any First Lady ever," she declares, probably with that signature, cool stare. Spoiler, she's not kidding. Melania's not here for the spotlight. She's more like a chic shadow, slipping in and out of the public eye with the grace of a catwalk pro, while Donald's tweeting up a storm and shaking hands. She's keeping it low-key. She launches Be Best, a campaign that's all about kids' well-being, responsible social media use, and tackling the opioid crisis. It's earnest, it's focused, and it's pure Melanian, quietly purposeful, while the world's busy gawking at her husband. She's not out there hosting daily press conferences or planting vegetable gardens. Sorry, Michelle Obama fans. Instead, she picks her moments, showing up at events with Donald or dazzling at state dinners in gowns that scream, "I'm here, but I'm not spilling the tea." Their marriage, it's a locked vault. No tabloid tell-alls, no kiss-on-tell drama, just a Slovenian sphinx and her golden-haired showman keeping it tight-lipped. Sure, the rumor mill churns, especially during that first term, with whispers of rifts and divorce swirling like bad perfume. Are they even sleeping in the same zip code, the gossips ask. Melania shuts it down in 2024, saying, "I'm ready to move into the White House, cool as ever." By 2025, she's dropping her memoir titled simply Melanian and letting the world peek behind the curtain just a little. Insiders spill some gems. One calls her soft but strong, a master of balancing Donald's tornado energy with her own steady vibe. Another says Trump loves staring at her, which, honestly, tracks. He's always had an eye for the fabulous. Melania's First Lady gig is a departure from the norm. She's not Ivana running empires, or Marla chasing headlines. She's the poised partner, supporting Donald's campaigns with a few well-timed appearances, like in 2024, when she's by his side after a failed assassination attempt. Talk about loyalty. Her Be Best initiative isn't just fluff. It's her carving out a niche, proving she's more than a pretty face in the East Wing. And that soft strength. It's her superpower, keeping Donald in check well, as much as anyone can. While radiating family-first vibes, Barron's her priority, and she's raising him away from the circus, a mama bear in designer shades. The public scrutiny, relentless. Divorce rumors, endless. But Melania and Donald, they're like Teflon nothing sticks. She calls him a dedicated dad and life partner, and he's out there praising her right back. That 2024 campaign event, post-assassination scare, is a mic drop moment there, arm in arm, smiling, and the crowd's eating it up. Nearly 2 decades in, this marriage is the real deal, weathering storms that'd sink lesser ships. It's not loud like Ivana's or flashy like Marla's. It's steady, private, and unexpectedly enduring. So here we are in 2025. Melania's back in the White House, Barron's growing up, and Donald's still Donald. She's the pink shadow who stuck around, balancing glamour and grit with a wink and a nod. The story's not over. Political roller coaster keeps rolling, and Melania's riding shotgun, memoir in hand. What's next? Who knows? But with this crew, it's bound to be wild. Stay tuned, because the best might still be yet to come. Chapter 4. The Girlfriends Trump's Bonus Round. We've danced through Donald Trump's 3 marriages of boardroom glitz, Marla's tabloid twirl, and Melania's first lady finesse, but the man's love life isn't just a trilogy. Oh no, there's a whole bonus level of HNG action, starring a cast of girlfriends who popped in and out between the wedding bells. Think of them as the appetizers to his marital main course short, sweet and oh so spicy. Let's meet two of the standouts, Kara Young and Roanne Brewer-Lane. Buckle up, because Trump's dating game is about to get wilder. First up, Kara Young. It's 2001. Melania is still a few years from the altar, and Donald's fresh off his divorce. From Marla, enter Kara, a stunning model with a biracial background and a vibe that says, "I'm fabulous, and I know it." They kick things off and date for 2 years, a respectable run in Trump time. Kara's got a lot going on. She's engaged to a Jay Benza, gossip columnist with a nose for drama, when Donald swoops in. Classic move, right? Things get messy fast. There's even a recording of Kara calling into Howard Stern's radio show, spilling the tea on this love triangle, while Donald's on air, casually announcing, "Yeah, Kara and I are done." Awkward? You bet. Hilarious? Absolutely. Picture Kara on the phone, rolling her eyes. While Howard's cackling and Donald's acting like he's directing a soap opera, Kara's take on Trump is pretty rosy, though. Years later, after the Charlottesville mess in 2017, she tells the New York Times, "I never heard him say anything offensive about any race." It's a glowing review that clashes with the public's later image of him. But hey, she's sticking to her story. Their fling slots right into that gap between Marla and Melania, proving Donald's never one to let the romantic grass grow. Under his feet, engaged to someone else, no problem, Trump's here to shake things up. Then there's Roanne Brewer-Lane, a model who gets her 15 minutes of Trump fame back in 1990. Marla's already in the picture, but Donald's not exactly. Exclusive, yet shocker. They meet at a pool party, because where else do you find a Trump romance? And Roanne's 26, rocking a borrowed swimsuit. Donald takes one look and declares, "Now that's a stunning Trump girl." Smooth, Don, real smooth. It's like he's branding her for the team roster. They have a brief fling, nothing too serious, but it's peak Trump charming, flirty, and juggling multiple ladies like it's an Olympic sport. Roanne's just one of many dipping their toes in the Trump pool, pun intended, and Marla's probably side-eyeing the whole thing from the Trump Princess yacht. What's the vibe here? These girlfriend stints are like Trump's romantic pit stops, quick detours between the big races of marriage. Kara's 2-year run and Roanne's poolside cameo show a guy who's always got an eye out for the next stunning Trump girl, even when he's technically spoken for. Overlapping taglines. Check. Public drama? Double check. It's a pattern. On its love life is less a straight line and more a tangled web of roses, swimsuits, and radio call-ins. So as the 90s fade and the 2000s dawn, these pink shadows flicker in and out of Trump's orbit. Kara and Roanne are just the headliners. There's probably a whole chorus line of others we'll never know about. They're the fun footnotes to his marital saga, proof that Donald's heart, or at least his attention, never stays idle for long. Next up, while we've covered the wives and the flings maybe, it's time to see what the future holds for this serial romancer. Stick around, because with Trump, there's always another twist. Chapter 5. The quick hits. Gabriella and Alessandro. Donald Trump's love life is like a buffet: 3 big marriage entrees, a handful of girlfriend sides, and now a couple of amuse-bouches that barely make it to the table before they're gone. We've already met the wives and some key players. But let's zoom in onto Morhan, who zipped through Trump's orbit faster than you can say prenup. Gabriella Sabatini and Allison Giannini. These are the blink and do miss it flings that add extra spice to an already chaotic romantic recipe. First up, Gabriella Sabatini. It's 1989, and Donald's in a pickle. He's still married to Ivana, juggling his empire and his not-so-secret affair with Marla Maples. Things are rocky, think. Soap opera level, rocky. Then, out of nowhere, he takes a month-long detour with Gabriella, an Argentine tennis champ who's aced Grand Slams and hearts alike. Picture her tan athletic, swinging a racket like she owns the court. They date for about 30 days, a blip, in Trump time right smack. In the middle of his Marla-Ivana mess, rumor has it he hit pause on Marla to volley with Gabriella. But don't get too comfy. He's back with Maples, faster than you can say game, set, match. By 1990, Ivana's out, Marla's in, and Gabriella's just a footnote in the Trump saga. What's the deal here? This little tennis fling is like a timeout in a chaotic match. Donald's marriage is imploding. Marla's waiting in the wings, and he's like, you know what? I'll try a month with a sports star. Gabriella's ace serves couldn't keep him, though his heart, or at least his attention, was already booked for Marla. It's a wild, wobbly moment that screams Donald's life as a circus. And Gabriella's the guest star who didn't stick around for the encore. Fast forward to 1997, and enter Allison Janney. Donald's separated from Marla now. The divorce is dragging, but he's technically a free agent, or so he tells himself. He's 50, she's 27, and they meet on a blind date set up by a mutual friend. Allison's not a model or a celeb, just a regular gal who walks into this whirlwind and comes out with a story. She's smitten, calling him a perfect gentleman. Picture Donald pulling out chairs, ordering the best wine, and flashing that green classic moves. But here's the kicker. While they're sipping cocktails, he's waxing poetic about Marla. Oh, I love her so much, he says, mid-date. Allison's probably thinking, I'm right here, buddy. Talk about mixed signals. Their fling, short. As a commercial break, Allison's still reeling years later. Though when the Grab M by the You-Know-What tape drops in 2016, she's shocked. Not my Donald, she insists, clinging to her memory of the perfect gentleman. It's sweet, almost naive, and totally at odds with the tabloid Trump we all know. This little romance slots right between Marla's exit and Melania's entrance. Another pit stop in Donald's nonstop love train. He's not over Marla emotionally spilling his heart to Allison proves that, but he's already eyeing the next chapter. These quick hits, Gabriella and Allison, are like Trump's romantic snack breaks. Gabriella's the 1989 tennis fling. That couldn't derail the Marla Express. And Allison's the 1997 blind date cameo, who got a front row seat to his Marla nostalgia. Together, they paint a picture of a guy who's always in motion, juggling wives, girlfriends, and side quests with the energy of a caffeinated ringmaster. Ivana, Marla, Melania in there, the headliners. But these ladies, they're the fun, little interludes that keep the Trump show rolling. So, as the 90s bleed into the 2000s, Donald's racking up more hand than a florist on Valentine's Day. Gabriella and Allison are gone in a flash, but they're proof that Trump's love life is never dull. What's next? We've covered the wives, the flings, the quickies. Maybe it's time to wrap this circus up. Or, not knowing Donald, there's always another shadow waiting. Stick around, because this tale's got more twists than a pretzel factory. Chapter 6. The flashback. Candace and Jackie. Donald Trump's romantic resume is already bursting at the seams. 3 wives, a slew of girlfriends, and quick flings galore, but there's always room for a few more HNG cameos. This time, we're digging into the archives with Candace Bergen and Jackie Siegel, 2 ladies who crossed paths with Trump at very different points in his life. One's a teenage throwback, the other's a late 90s South fling, both short, sweet, and packed with personality. Let's rewind the tape and see what these pink shadows bring to the party. First, Candace Bergen. It's the 1960s, and Donald's a fresh-faced 18-year-old, not yet the mogul we know, but already working that Trump flair. Candace's future Emmy-winning actress and all-around icon is also 18. Bored out of her mind, and apparently up for a lark. They score a date, and oh boy, does Donald show up in style. Picture this, an 18-year-old Trump rocking a 3-piece burgundy suit, matching glossy burgundy boots, and rolling up in a burgundy limo. It's like he raided a wine cellar and decided, this is my look. Candace later spills the tea. Was a good-looking guy and a dope. Ouch. Dawn. She's home by 9 p.m., probably yawning as she kicks off her shoes. No sparks, no smooching. Just a quick thanks, but no thanks from a girl who'd rather watch paint dry than extend. The night? Candace's take is gold blunt, funny, and a peek at young Donald before the fame. That burgundy getup? It's peak teenage Trump, loud and proud even before he had skyscrapers to match. They never overlapped at Penn despite the urban legend. And this date's a one and done. Candace files it under meh and moves on to bigger things like, becoming a TV legend. For Donald, it's an early lesson. Not every stunning Trump girl is buying what he's selling. Now, fast forward to the late 1990s for Jackie Siegel. Donald's in his 50s, freshly split from Marla, and about to meet Melania. A quick detour with Jackie, a socialite who'd later star in Queen of Versailles. They go on a few dates after he invites her to some swanky shindig-stink champagne flutes, caviar, and Trump holding court. Jackie's charmed, calling him a really great guy with tons of charisma. She's all smiles. No, Shaden-like Candace's E-roll energy. They keep it light, no heavy romance, just a little high-society flirtation. Jackie's still gushing years later, saying she's thrilled they've stayed friends. She even backs his 2016 presidential run, waving the Trump flag with a grin. This fling's timing is tight sandwiched between Marla's exit and Melania's entrance. Proof Donald's never one to sit still. Jackie's glowing review stands. Out in a sea of mixed feedback, some saw a dope, she saw a dazzler. It's a quick dip into the elite pool, a pit stop before the Melanian era kicks off. Their lasting friendship's a nice touch. To jockeys, not burning bridges. She's building a little Trump fan club. So, what do Candace and Jackie tell us? They're the bookends of Trump's pre- and post-marriage flings. Candace catches him young, flashy, and fumbling a burgundy-clad newbie who can't seal the deal. Jackie gets the seasoned Trump, all charm and swagger, sliding through the 90s social scene like a pro. Together, they're bite-sized chapters in the Trump Love Chronicles proof. His romantic roller coaster's been spinning since day one. From teenage flops to late 90s wins, these pink shadows flicker and fade. Leaving us with one truth: Donald's always got a date up his sleeve. Where to next? We've toured the wives, the girlfriends, the quickies maybe. It's time to tie this wild ride up. Or not. Trump's story's never short on surprises. Hang tight, because this circus just keeps on turning. Chapter 7. The Rumors Anna. And Carla. Donald Trump's love life is a sprawling epic. Quiv's girlfriends. Quick flings, but now we're venturing into the foggy realm of rumors, where the woman's shadows get a little hazy. Enter Anna Nicole Smith and Carla Bruni. Two larger-than-life ladies tied to Trump by whispers, winks, and wild speculation. Are these legit romances or just tabloid fairy tales? Let's sift through the gossip and see what sticks. Spoiler: it's messy, murky, and o-so-Trump. First, Anna Nicole Smith. If you don't know her, picture a blonde bombshell with a Texas twang Playboy model, reality TV star, and the gal who famously married J. Howard Marshall to ski. Grandpa. Sound familiar? Yep, Anna's taste in older, richer guys lines up nicely with Trump's own playbook of dating younger stunners. The rumor mill says they hooked up sometime in the 90s. Exact dates are fuzzy because, well, it's a rumor. Word is, Donald gave her career a boost, maybe a nudge into the spotlight or a leg up in the modeling game. A friend of Anna's dishes that she really loved him, gushing about how he took care of her and swearing she wasn't just after his cash. She hated people thinking it was all about money, the pal says. Sweet, right? But here's the catch. There's no hard proof, no photos, no love letters, just whispers and a vibe that screams, this could have happened. It fits Trump's pattern model's glamour. A dash of drama, and Anna's friend paints a picture of something deeper than a fling. Picture them, Donald in a power suit, Anna in something sparkly, bonding over their mutual love of the spotlight. Did it happen? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it's a juicy footnote in Trump's saga, rumored romance with a woman who lived. As big and bold as he did. Anna's gone now, but the whispers linger, a pink shadow too tantalizing to dismiss. Then there's Carla Bruni, the Italian-French singer-songwriter, who'd later become Madame Nicolas Sarkozy, wife of France's former president. Rewind to 1991. Donald's deep in his Marla Maples era, juggling her and his crumbling marriage. To Ivana, enter Carl, tall chic, with a voice like velvet and a runway strut to match. The tabloids buzz that they had a fling, a little transatlantic tease, while Marla's holding down the fort. Carla's not having it, though. I only met him once. At a party, she snaps, shutting it down like a pro. Trump, of course, has a different story. Years later, on Howard Stern's show, he's dishing dirt. Carla tried to steal me from Marla. He brags, then adds, she's flat-chested and turned into a real pain. Yikes, don't classy as ever. So, what's the truth? Carla says. Nada. Trump says, drama classic, he said. He paints her as a clingy temptress. She's like, please, I barely know the guy. The stern rants, pure, Trump blunt, brash. And a little bitter while, Carla's denial carries the weight of someone who's moved on to bigger things, like, a presidential palace. Did they date? Probably not. Carla's too cool to get tangled in Trump's web for long. But the rumors, spicy enough to stick. Especially with her later starring role as France's First Lady, it's a clash of titans. Trump's bluster versus Bruni's breezy dismissal land. With more questions than answers, what ties Anna and Carla together? They're the maybe girl's pink shadows flickering in the rumor haze. Anna's a heartfelt could-have-been, backed by a friend's fond memories. Carla's a contested never was, muddied by Trump's loudmouth revisionism. Both slot into his chaotic 90s, a time when he's bouncing between wives and leaving a trail of what-ifs. Confirmed or not, they're part of the Trump mystique, glamorous, fleeting, and perfectly over-dash the dash top dot. So, as the century turns, Donald's racking up rumors like frequent flyer miles. Anna and Carla join the chorus of Han, their stories half-truths and half-legends. The wives built the foundation, the girlfriends added flair, and these whispers. They're the glitter on top. Where's this wild ride headed? We've mined the past, maybe it's time to peek at the future. Hang on, because with Trump, the shadows never stop dancing. Chapter 8. The Big Picture Trump's Love Literal Right. Folks, we've toured the Trump romantic roller coaster. 3 wives, a parade of girlfriends, quick flings, and juicy rumors. From Ivana's Empire days to Melania's White House reign. With pit stops at Marla, Cara, Gabriella, and a burgundy-clad teenage flop. It's been a wild ride. Now, let's step back, grab a popcorn bucket, and look at the whole messy, dazzling picture of Donald Trump's HNG saga. Spoiler, it's less a love story, more a blockbuster with sequels nobody saw coming. First off, patterns. Donald's got a type models, actresses, glamour gals who shine in the spotlight. Ivana, Marla, Melania and all catwalk queens, or close enough, his girlfriends. Same vibe Cara, young Roanne, Brewer Lane, Anna Nicole Smith maybe. It's like he's casting a reality show called Trump's Angels. And he doesn't mess around when he spots a stunning Trump girl. He's all in, roses and limos at the ready. Problem is, his timing's a little overlapping. Affairs kick off before the ink's dry on divorce papers. Vana finds Marla in Aspen. Marla's barely out when Melania steps in. And flings like Gabriella and Carla allegedly sneak into the gaps. It's a romantic relay race, and Donald's passing the baton before the last runner's finished. What's he like in love? It depends who you ask. Allison Giannini's swooning over a perfect gentleman. Candace Bergen's yawning at a dope. In Burgundy, Jackie Siegel sees charm. Anna's pal swears he's a caretaker. Meanwhile, the tabloids paint him as a playboy with a wandering eye. His wives tell the tale best. Ivana's a powerhouse partner, building the Trump brand. Melania's the steady shadow, balancing his chaos. Marla's the flashy interlude, short, loud, and gone. A bunch of these exes stick around Vana Koperant's like a champ. Marla's campaigning in 2025, Jackie's waving the Trump flag. Divorce doesn't mean done in Trump world, it's more like see you at the next rally. Zoom out and you see the big drivers, fame and fortune. Donald's wealth and wattage draw women in penthouse views, private jets, the whole mogul package. But it's a double-edged sword. Every kiss comes with a camera flash. The media's relentless Aspen showdowns, New York Post headlines. Stern rants it's a fishbowl with no curtains. Commitment, it's a sliding scale. Some relationships last a month high. Gabriella, others stretch decades. Melania still standing. Prenups, non-negotiable. Trump runs his love life like a deal. All business under the romance. And single? Since the 70s, he's barely had a solo day. There's always a pink shadow waiting. Now, the darker notes. At least 26 women have accused him of sexual misconduct, claims stretching up to 2016. Then there's that infamous grab em by the Unawet line crew. Controversial and a lightning rod. These aren't tied to the willing HNG crew, but they're part of the broader Trump with women story. Shadow that's less pink, more pitch black. It's a stark contrast to the gentleman praise, showing a guy who's as complex as he is loud, charming to some, cringe to others. Donald's a kaleidoscope, and every X sees a different shade. So, what's the takeaway? Trump's love life is a circus, glitzy, chaotic, and never dull. He chases fame-friendly beauties, juggles overlapping romances, and thrives under the spotlight's glare. His wives shape his world, Ivana builds it. Melania steadies it, while girlfriends and flings add fireworks. Prenups keep it transactional. Loyalty keeps some exes close, and scandals keep it spicy. From teenage burgundy to White House gold, he's rarely alone, always bold, and forever Trump flaws, flair, and all